There's something important you should understand before trusting any recommended service on a Toyota. The word recommended does not mean required, and it definitely does not mean the person recommending it would approve it on their own vehicle. In fact, after years of working around Toyotas and talking to the people who maintain them for a living, a clear pattern emerges. There are certain services Toyota mechanics consistently decline for their own cars, even though those same services are pushed aggressively to customers every single day. That alone should make you pause. Toyota mechanics are not reckless. They are not lazy. They are often more conservative than the average owner when it comes to maintenance. Their vehicles are usually serviced on time, documented carefully, and driven for hundreds of thousands of miles. But they also understand something most owners are never told. Not every service exists to protect the car. Some exist to protect the revenue model of the service department. Before getting into specifics, take a second and ask yourself this. Have you ever approved a service simply because it sounded official, routine, or responsible, even though nothing felt wrong with the car? If that question hits close to home, tap the like button. Subscribe if you value calm, informed ownership over pressure and upsells. And if a dealership has ever recommended something you didn't fully understand but felt uneasy declining, leave a comment about it. I see every comment, and those stories help other owners trust their instincts. Here's the reality most dealerships will never say out loud. Toyota mechanics maintain their own vehicles very differently than they maintain customer cars. Not because they have secret tools or insider parts, but because they understand how Toyota engineers actually design these systems to age. They know which services matter and which ones quietly create more problems than they solve. One of the most revealing things I've heard from multiple Toyota technicians is this simple phrase: "I'd never do that to my own car." And they weren't talking about skipping oil changes or ignoring warning lights. They were talking about services that look responsible on paper but disrupt systems that were designed to remain stable for long periods of time. What separates long-lasting Toyotas from expensive ones is not how many services are approved, it's how few unnecessary ones are allowed to interfere. Toyota engines, transmissions, and braking systems are engineered around predictability. Stable fluids. Consistent wear patterns. Gradual conditioning of seals and internal surfaces. When a system is disturbed without cause, even with good intentions, the long-term balance is affected. Mechanics understand this instinctively because they see the aftermath years later, not just the invoice on service day. This is where the disconnect begins. Dealership service departments operate on schedules and packages, fixed intervals, bundled recommendations, screen-based checklists that trigger upsells the moment a mileage threshold is crossed. The mechanic in the bay may know the service isn't needed yet, but the recommendation appears anyway. The advisor presents it as standard. The customer approves it to be safe. The mechanic would decline it on their own car. That difference matters. Another truth most owners don't realize is that Toyota mechanics see patterns repeat over decades. They see which vehicles come back with leaks early. They see which transmissions develop shifting complaints after certain services. They see which cars age quietly and which ones become fussy long before they should. And those patterns influence how they treat their own vehicles. When a Toyota mechanic owns a Camry, Corolla, RAV4, or Highlander, their maintenance style is almost boring. Factory intervals. Drain and fill when required. No aggressive flushes. No constant system resets. No panic approvals based on fear language. They wait for evidence, not suggestions. That restraint is not negligence. It's experience. What makes this especially important is how service recommendations are framed. Most are not presented as optional. They're framed as smart, responsible, or preventative. Words like protect, extend life, and avoid future failure are used carefully. It doesn't feel like a sales pitch, it feels like guidance. But mechanics know something owners don't. True prevention only works when it aligns with how the system was designed to function. Preventing imaginary problems often creates real ones. There's also an emotional component at play. Owners tend to associate more service with better care. Mechanics associate correct service with less intervention. Those two mindsets clash constantly inside service departments, and the customer almost always loses because they don't see the long game. I've spoken to Toyota mechanics who drive their cars past 300,000 miles without ever approving some of the most common recommended services on the menu. No issues. No failures. No mystery repairs. just steady, predictable ownership. Meanwhile, they watch customers approve those same services at 60, 80, or 100,000 miles, only to return years later with leaks, noise, or drivability issues that never should have appeared that early. When asked why they refuse those services personally, the answer is always the same. There was nothing wrong yet. That mindset is the difference between maintenance and interference. Toyota did not build these vehicles to be constantly corrected. They built them to be left alone unless conditions change. Mechanics understand this because they live with the consequences of over-servicing long after the advisor has moved on to the next customer. Another important factor is accountability. When a mechanic services their own vehicle, they own the outcome. If something fails later, they know exactly why. When a customer approves a service, accountability becomes blurred. The service was recommended. The customer approved it. The result appears years later. The connection is lost. That disconnect allows unnecessary services to survive. And this is why understanding which services Toyota mechanics quietly refuse on their own cars is so valuable. Not because mechanics are smarter than owners, but because they've already seen how the story ends. The most reliable Toyotas are not the ones that receive the most services. They're the ones that receive the right services at the right time, and nothing more. As this picture becomes clearer, a natural question starts forming. If mechanics won't approve certain services for themselves, why are those services pushed so consistently to owners? And what exactly are the services that cross that line from maintenance into profit? That question matters, because once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. Once you understand that Toyota mechanics deliberately avoid certain services on their own cars, the question naturally shifts from curiosity to concern. If these services are so beneficial, why would the people most qualified to judge them consistently say no? The answer sits at the intersection of long-term ownership and short-term incentives, and it explains a lot about why some Toyotas age beautifully while others become expensive far too early. One of the clearest patterns mechanics recognize is how certain services are timed, not by vehicle condition, but by mileage milestones. 60,000 miles. 100,000 miles. Those numbers are not magic points where systems suddenly fail. They are psychological triggers used inside service menus because they feel significant to owners. Mechanics know that crossing one of those numbers makes people more likely to approve preventative work out of fear, not necessity. Take transmission services as an example. Toyota mechanics overwhelmingly maintain their own transmissions conservatively. If a drain and fill is specified by Toyota at a certain interval, they follow it. If the transmission is sealed or designed for extended service life, they leave it alone. What they avoid is aggressive flushing when nothing is wrong. They've seen too many cases where a perfectly functioning transmission develops shifting issues months after a flush that was sold as protective. One mechanic told me about a customer who brought in a Camry with over 200,000 miles that shifted flawlessly. The service department recommended a full transmission flush because it was overdue. The customer approved it. Within a year, the transmission began slipping. The same mechanic had the same transmission design in his personal Camry with even higher mileage. He never flushed it, never had a single issue, and continued driving it daily. That contrast sticks with you when you see it enough times. Another service Toyota mechanics quietly decline is routine engine cleaning treatments added during oil changes. These include internal cleaners, conditioners, and detergent additives marketed as ways to remove sludge or restore performance. Mechanics understand that modern Toyota engines running on correct oil rarely accumulate harmful sludge when maintained properly. Introducing aggressive chemicals into a clean engine does not improve it. It disrupts it. One technician explained it this way. Toyota engines condition themselves over time. Seals adapt. Surfaces polish naturally. When you introduce harsh additives repeatedly, you reset that process. The engine survives, but it loses its rhythm. Small leaks begin. Consumption changes. Minor noises appear. Nothing catastrophic, just enough to make ownership more expensive and less peaceful. That's why mechanics stick to oil and filters that meet factory specifications and avoid anything that promises dramatic internal improvement. If an engine needs cleaning, there is already a problem. If it doesn't, adding chemicals only increases risk. Brake fluid services follow a similar pattern. Toyota mechanics do not replace brake fluid on a fixed calendar unless conditions warrant it. They look for moisture intrusion, discoloration beyond normal aging, or performance issues. They don't approve brake fluid exchanges simply because a screen says it's due. They know that Toyota brake systems are tolerant and designed to operate safely far longer than most service menus suggest. One longtime technician shared that his personal Highlander went well over 100,000 miles before its first brake fluid service. No pedal issues. No corrosion. No warning signs. Meanwhile, customers were being sold brake fluid services every 30,000 miles out of safety concerns. The difference was not neglect. It was restraint. Mechanics also avoid unnecessary cooling system flushes. Toyota's long-life coolant is engineered for extended intervals. When replaced too early or flushed aggressively, it can introduce air pockets, disturb deposits that were sealing minor imperfections, and create problems that didn't exist before. Mechanics know this because they are often the ones diagnosing coolant leaks months after a flush that was never needed. The reason these services keep getting sold is simple. They are easy to explain, hard for customers to verify, and extremely profitable. They also create a sense of responsibility in the owner. Declining them feels risky, even when nothing is wrong. Mechanics don't feel that pressure because they understand the difference between risk and noise. Another telling detail is how mechanics react when a service advisor recommends one of these services on their own vehicle. Most will politely decline without hesitation. They don't argue. They don't demand justification. They simply say no because they know the system does not require intervention yet. That confidence comes from seeing hundreds of vehicles over decades and recognizing what truly causes failures. It's almost never the absence of unnecessary services. It's over-servicing, over-correcting, and disturbing systems that were designed to remain stable. What's important here is not memorizing which services to avoid, but understanding why mechanics avoid them. They prioritize long-term system stability over short-term reassurance. They trust Toyota engineering more than service menus. And they accept that doing nothing is often the correct action when nothing has changed. Owners who adopt that same mindset tend to experience a very different ownership story. Their Toyotas remain quiet longer. They develop fewer leaks, they encounter fewer mystery repairs, and they spend less time wondering why a well-maintained car suddenly feels fragile. The gap between how mechanics treat their own cars and how customers are encouraged to treat theirs is not accidental. It exists because one side sees outcomes over decades, while the other sees opportunities on a screen. Once you recognize that gap, you start to see service recommendations differently, not as instructions, but as suggestions that require context. And that awareness alone changes the trajectory of ownership. Because the most expensive Toyota is rarely the neglected one. It's the one that was constantly interfered with under the belief that more service always equals better care. What separates Toyota owners who keep their cars for decades from those who feel worn down by constant service visits isn't mechanical knowledge. It's perspective. Toyota mechanics don't maintain their vehicles out of fear. They maintain them out of familiarity. They know what actually changes inside a vehicle over time, and more importantly, what doesn't. That's why the services they refuse on their own cars are rarely dramatic. They're quiet, routine-sounding recommendations that slowly shift ownership from predictable to expensive. The kind of services that feel harmless in the moment but add friction year after year. Extra fluid exchanges. Preventive cleanings. Early replacements justified by mileage instead of condition. Mechanics understand something most owners aren't told. Toyota designs its systems to age gradually and cooperatively. Seals adapt, fluids stabilize, components wear in together. When that balance is interrupted repeatedly without a real mechanical reason, the system doesn't fail loudly. It degrades quietly. That's why you hear so many stories that sound the same. An owner followed every recommendation, approved every service, never skipped an appointment, and yet leaks started early. Noises appeared sooner than expected. Repairs began stacking up long before the car should have felt old. Meanwhile, a mechanic down the street is driving the same generation Toyota with twice the mileage and none of those problems. Same engine, same transmission, different philosophy. The difference is not luck, it's restraint. Toyota mechanics don't chase reassurance, they watch for change. They respond when something actually behaves differently than it did before. A new sound, a new vibration, a measurable wear point. Until then, they let the vehicle do what it was designed to do. That approach reduces mental load as much as mechanical stress. Ownership becomes simpler. Fewer decisions, fewer interruptions, less second-guessing. And that calm compounds over time. There's also something important about trust here. Mechanics trust Toyota engineering more than service menus. They know the factory maintenance schedule is built around real-world durability testing, not revenue targets. They also know that many recommended services exist because they are easy to sell, not because they are universally needed. Once you see that distinction, the service department stops feeling authoritative and starts feeling optional. Not in an adversarial way, but in an informed way. You don't need to argue. You don't need to challenge anyone. You simply decide based on condition, not suggestion. That mindset changes how every future service visit feels. Oil changes become routine again instead of gateways. Inspections become information instead of pressure. Recommendations become conversations, not obligations. And this is where long-term Toyota ownership quietly becomes enjoyable again. The Toyotas that reach 400,000, 500,000, even 700,000 miles usually weren't micromanaged. They weren't constantly optimized. They were maintained consistently and left alone when nothing was wrong. That's not neglect. That's respect for the design. Toyota didn't build these vehicles to be constantly corrected. They built them to be trusted. And the people who trust them the most are often the ones who work on them every day. If there's one takeaway that matters here, it's this. The goal isn't to avoid service. The goal is to avoid unnecessary disturbance. When you maintain with intention instead of anxiety, your Toyota ages with you instead of against you. And if you've ever wondered why some Toyotas seem to last forever while others quietly become expensive, the answer usually isn't hidden in a part. It's hidden in how often someone felt compelled to fix something that wasn't broken. I'm curious, have you ever declined a service and later realized it was the right call? Tap subscribe. This channel is for owners who value calm, long-term ownership over constant intervention. And if you've noticed a difference between how your Toyota behaved before and after certain services, share that experience in the comments. I see every comment, and those stories help other owners trust their instincts. Because the best Toyotas aren't maintained harder, they're maintained smarter.